Hi, I'm Doc Martin, the lone journalist for KRAZ TV, and another book review. It's a good book, too, or at least I thought so. Of course, it's by one of the most eminent writers and well-known people in the world, David Brooks. How to Know a Person. The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Deeply Seen. You recognize him. David Brooks. David Brooks is one of the nation's leading writers and commentators. He is an op-ed columnist for the New York Times, writer for The Atlantic, and he appears regularly on the PBS NewsHour. Brooks is the best-selling author of The Second Mountain, The Road to Character, The Social Animal, Bobos, and Paradise, and On Paradise Drive. Quite a revealing book, this is. As number one New York Times best-selling author David Brooks observes, there is one skill that lies at the heart of any healthy person, family, school, community organization, or society: the ability to see someone else deeply and make them feel seen, to accurately know another person, to let them feel valued, heard, and understood. And yet we humans don't do this well. All around us are people who feel invisible, unseen, misunderstood. And How to Know a Person, Brooks sets out to help us do better. Posing questions are essential for all of us. If you want to know a person, what kind of attention should you cast on them? What kind of conversation should you have? What parts of a person's story should you pay attention to? Driven by his trademark sense of curiosity and his determination to grow as a person, Brooks draws from the fields of psychology, neuroscience, and from the worlds of theater, philosophy, history, and education to present a welcoming, hopeful, integrated approach to human connection. How to Know a Person helps readers become more understanding and considerate towards others, and to find the joy that comes from being seen. Along the way, it offers a possible remedy for a society that is riven by fragmentation, hostility, and misperception. The art of seeing another person, Brooks argues, is profoundly creative. How can we look somebody in the eye and see something large in them, and in turn see something larger in ourselves? How to Know a Person is for anyone searching for connection and yearning to be understood. Well, that sums it up. I was fascinated by it, and boy, I'll tell you that if you want some life lessons and how to self-help it and improve, this is the book. It really brings home the fact of honesty. It really is about just being honest and forthright, you know. Yeah, it isn't really that much. It's the I See You is part one. I see you in your struggles. I see you with your strengths. So the first part is covered as, well, it's from Random House in New York. So it's the power of being seen, how not to see a person, illumination, accompaniment, what is a person, good talks, the right questions. The epidemic of blindness, it's I see you in your struggles, is hard conversations. How do you serve a friend who is in despair? The art of empathy, and how were you shaped by your suffering? And I see you with your strengths, personality. What energy do you bring into the room? Life tasks, life stories. How do your ancestors show up in your life? And probably the last one is, what is wisdom? Well, I tell you, it really gets you out of your shell. And it's just not committing back and forwards and talking about trivial things. It's asking questions or hearing behind the line what people have to say. When someone makes a statement that you start out a conversation with, and a willingness to talk with people. Some people just don't want to speak with anybody and don't want to be bothered, and it's hard to draw the truth and the real stories out of people, but this book will show you how to do it, and I found it helpful, and every day we can learn something new, and that's what I always think. Well, it's hard to, in my eyes, I think, you gotta grow. You gotta do something. You gotta get out of your grind. You gotta, I don't know. It helped me. And as you get older, they say you're more willing to bare the soul or ask the direct questions. Don't interrupt people. That's one of my biggest faults, is interrupting people, but I'm learning not to do that. Asking crucial questions. And get a life story. Everybody has one. We all have stories. And in the stories, people will usually reveal all. And of course, we're all preset by our beliefs and what our parents did and how we were brought up. And under the undercurrent of all of that happens, there's your drive and how you felt even as a young person, and some things you never let go. But they do say your life story changes from time to time. A lot of people have, like in colleges, the professor will take a survey, and then 3 years later get back with the person and read this list back to them, and they'll say, well, I'm not that person. Well, you've changed that much. So I just think it's so heartfelt. And empathy is very hard, and there's a truism to empathy, and there's a way to act like you're empathetic, but I don't know. You just got to get in there with people, I think, and well, do the things that really make us human. That's really all this book is about. And be true to yourself. There's always your story where you can either embellish or not embellish. There's always ways to, only tell the good stuff. He's talked about some of his friend, a good friend of his, that the guy knew he was depressed, and what gets me about some of these greatest people in here, they're heart surgeons and just had everything going for them, but they were just so far down and depressed that they committed suicide, and it really broke his heart about how could he have helped that person and helped them get out of the rut that brought them to that. So that's a lot of stuff people don't want to talk about. We always talk about how it's going to be better, or it's sometimes best just to listen. And most times what people are telling you, there's an undercurrent that they can't come out and tell you until it's prompted out of them. And sometimes, he was talking about, and a lot of people were talking about that only one line from a teacher when you were young. It talked about, I see the potential in you, and it changed their life forever to know that one person actually was true and saw through everything and got to you. And and had an effect and made a lasting impression. So, I could go on and on about this book, but at first it seemed like, wow, this is a heavy book, but it's not really. But it's something that I guarantee you we all need work on, and it would really help us. It helped me, I really think, to be a better person. So, David Brooks, How to Know a Person? I'd like to know you. He is a wonderful person, and he said it's helped him. And so, by reading this book, help yourself and help others. The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Deeply Seen. We got this book at the Tucson-Pima County Public Library. You can get it at yours. Thank you for watching, and watch all of our shows at KRAZTV.com. Thank you, and goodbye. Doc Martin.